as I said, like, okay, we haven't discussed it, like, but if you look at this particular process, so this particular diagram will come to understand the process of medium-term scheduler. So if this is process is being shifted from, this is job queue, job queue2, it is being into ready queue, and your scheduler will pick the data from a ready queue. So the process is here now, right? The process is here, so this is being picked by CPU. If this particular CPU, if this particular process is only requiring this particular CPU, we can say this is CPU bound process. Okay, but if this is requiring some IO, then it will be shifting to IO queues. So when IO gets completed, it is being shifted to again ready queue. Now, if it switches, like say now you have 2 or 3 processes right here. Okay, so this is A1, then you have got B, then you have got C. So here you have in ready queue you have A, you have got B, you have got C. So when this particular A is taking this particular CPU, then CPU has to shift to B. In that case, A has to be swapped out. So this has to be moved from CPU to memory, memory to storage, and storage and back to again ready queue. So whenever this is going to happen, the states are being saved. So that you have to do in this particular say. So for example, this will be, for example, say 5 milliseconds. If the 5 millisecond is the time quantum. So quantum is nothing but it is the time allocated for a CPU to process a particular process. So if this is like once 5 milliseconds are over, this has to be swapped here. So A will be going here. uh, once once you have shifted it, say from CPU to, it goes to memory, memory to memory, then this partially, since this is partially executed, this will go to uh, secondary storage. Again it bring back into a queue, ready queue. Okay, so this is how it like. Okay, so for next 5 seconds it will be CPU is holding B, then for next 5 seconds CPU is holding C. So A and B bring back to memory to the device, the disk, and again from disk it is again taken back to a ready queue for execution. And this particular process is called as swapping. This is called as swapping. Okay, so it removes the process from the memory, store it onto a disk, bring the process back from the disk to the execution. So it is like that. So CPU will shift the process from CPU to memory, memory to secondary storage to back to the ready queue. So this is how actually the process is going to progress in case of medium term scheduler. So the interesting part is here we need so this can be added if the degree of multi-programming needs to be decreases, right? So if you want to slow down the degree of multi-programming, you can go for medium term scheduler. So in maximum case, in most of the cases we are going with the short term, or we are thinking of long term schedule. Okay, so short term, long term, and medium term. And if we want to decrease, say there is no point in decreasing the degree of the multi-programming. Okay, so we are never thinking in that particular way, because our objective is to maximize the utilization. So maximizing the utilization means we need to we need to keep our resource busy in completing our task. So there is no point in minimizing the degree of multi-programming, right? So that, like in most of the cases, by only that particular reason, we are interested into this. Okay, and they are again going for allowing us multi-programming. Okay, and this particular multi-programming degree is controlled, means complexity is controlled. You can say this is controlled by long-term scheduler. Long-term scheduler. Okay, and this long-term scheduler, we can say it is a job scheduler. Okay, so whatever the processes that are created by job schedulers are being handled by short-term schedulers, so they will go in hand in hand. Okay, so this you have to uh, think of. Okay, so now interesting point is, like, whenever we say that the task is being shifted, so we have understood that the state process state diagram is something like this. So you have got a new process, for example, here, right? So this is, you can say, new. With the new, it will shift up to ready. Ready, it will from ready it will go to run. Run, from run it will come to wait. From wait it will come to ready. Ready to again it will run, and this is, I'll say, complete. Okay, so but like, see, if this process is if this process is IO, say, just like, if this process A is IO bound. Okay, A is IO bound means what? A will shift from this place, right? Will go to ready. From ready to, it will go to run. Okay, from ready it will go to run. From run it will request IO, right? And it will spend, say, for example, 80% of time here. This is significant time, 80% of its time here. Okay, because 80% of time when IO gets completed. Okay, so this is going to be IO bound. So maximum time is being spent here. 80% of time is being spent here. Okay, so this is IO bound. Okay, now this particular process is IO bound. Now, but if you see second case, again you have got a change. You have got a B process. Okay, so this is called a B process. B is being again given to, submitted at new. New will shift up as ready. From ready it will go to run. From run it will go to wait. It will shift up to wait. Okay, from wait again it will come to ready, and run it will come to, say, complete. Okay, now what is going to happen if this second is CPU bound. If this is CPU bound, which means that we know that if there are instructions, right? So these instructions are being like ready, take this particular first instruction, go on execution, get it, then go on computation. So this particular block is specifically a computation block, say, for example, right? Computation block, so means it is ready to run. Run to again ready. Ready, run, run to again ready. So this is when IO or event request. This is IO or event complete. Okay, and this particular segment, particularly this particular segment, is means like a switching of a process from this place to ready, ready to run, run to again ready. Okay, so here this particular segment, if a process is in this only ready and run, ready and run, ready and run, and this is say 80% or maximum. So it is in between ready, run, ready, run, ready, run. So this is a CPU. So you can see CPU bound because you are utilizing the processor maximum. So it is CPU bound process. So the process is CPU bound. You need to understand. Okay, so it is in between this only. Okay. So here, whenever CPU switches from one process to another process, the system must state. Okay, so means what? Whenever it switches from this particular B, switches from ready to run, run to ready, and likewise, uh, it is like state gets switched. So it must be saved into a process control block. Okay, and this process control block is via context switch. Now, context switch is nothing but a process. Context of a process is presented into a process control block. Context the switch time is an overhead. System does no useful work while switching, but the more complex OS, uh, the process control block contains the information of all these particular switch. So this is really very important. So this is a context switch means what? This particular switching in between the number of processes, right? So mostly this particular area is this particular context only. So the context switch refers to this sensitive area, this particular sensitive area. Okay, but all the states are being saved. Okay, so all states of process, they are saved into a process control block, and this is being done by context switch. Okay, this is being done by a new process called context switch.